Hi everyone, this is Dao Chai. I'm at the University Library right now, and we are going to be working on asset accounting, continuing on asset accounting on SAP. Okay, so it's going to be screen layout, user-defined field, and asset master data. Okay, so we're continuing on that. And if you guys hear students, well, you guys are going to be hearing students in the background, so sorry about that. Okay, let's start off with a little inspiration. So, if you think you are too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Dalai Lama. Okay, so let's look at screen layout. All right, so the screen layout for the asset determines which field in which asset master records are used. You specified for each possible field within the asset master records, whether it's required, optional, display only, or suppress. Okay, and then you configure the different sets of keys for the master data section of an asset, and then the depreciation detail. So you define the screen layout rules for the master record selection flexibility, and assign them to the asset class. All right, look at one. All right, so the screen layout can be valid for many asset class, and then the local field groups, so that's two, are predefined, as are the field inside these field groups, and that's three. Okay, so take a look at that. So in addition to define the field status, you can select additional checkbox for the following. Okay, so you got class asset. This defines that you can set a default value for these fields on the asset class level. And then you got the main asset number. This defines the field that can be changed on the main asset master level. Then you got the asset sub number. So this defines that the field can be changed from the asset sub number. So if this option isn't selected, the value is inherent from the main asset and cannot be changed. And then you got copy. So this defines whether the field value is copied over from an asset used as a reference for creating another asset. Okay, so in addition to defining the field status, you can also maintain the tab layout of asset master maintenance. So in the tab layout definition, you assign the local field groups. So that's two. So take a look at that. And to the tab, then then you got goals, right? So the goal when define both the field status and the tab layout is to make available all need field without overwhelming users with too many choices and fields that will never like maintain, right? And then you got unlikely, the master record screen layout, the depreciation screen layouts are assigned pre-asset and depreciation area as shown in one. So the default layout per depreciation is um, the purpose per asset class. Okay, so the depreciation area is the purpose per asset class. So SAP provides two depreciation screen layout by default, and you could copy these to create and assign your own. The possible definition per field are the same as for the master record layout. Okay, so let's look at the user-defined screen field. So because assets are complex accounting subjects, and customers have various field requirements, SAP offers like customer field that customers can use to define their own value for various purposes. So all the fields are reporting criteria, right? And you could select and filter by the field and display the value for these field in reporting. So in customizing, you could define values for the following uh, custom fields. Okay, so evaluation group 1 to 5. Okay, these fields can be used flexibility to store any kind of information. There are four keys that are four digit longs, and one key that's 8 digit long. So for each key, you can maintain a description. You can set a default value for each per asset class, and this allows the screen layout definition. And then you got the environmental protection. So check this box if, right? So you check this box and then use to save the reason for an environmental protection investment. All right, so that's if you're doing that. And then reasons for investment. So this field is used for entering an explanation for a capital expenditure. Okay, and then you got asset super number. So this can be assigned to assets for grouping purposes. Okay, and then we're gonna be looking at asset master data. So asset master records are defined and created to mirror your fixed assets used in the daily business. So the master data for the asset includes the main asset number and the asset sub number. So which is an asset that refers to an asset main number. All right, and then you create asset master records by using one of the following methods. Right, so you entering the company code and asset class, entering data in the required field, and adopting the standard value proposed by the asset class. Then you got entering a reference asset and changing the field proposed from the copy of the reference assets. Then you got, like, in addition to that, to the single asset creation, you could also create multiple asset master records by entering the number of similar assets to be created. In this case, you maintain values for the first asset and then either use like to extract same details from all other assets or maintain separate values for certain fields. All right, so let's take a look at the figure. So the range of field available for you to change is customizable. You could always make additional changes after saving all the new asset in a second step. So now, like in the default tab layout in the time dependent tab, you make assignments to cost accounting, right? Such as cost center, internal order, and work breakdown structures, elements, but also location, profit center, and segments. So the tab is called time dependent because you can define period intervals for the assignments. So therefore, a printer ordered by and used for a couple of years by one department can move to a new location and charge depreciation to a different cost center from the third year on. So reporting output and tasks such as depreciation post-running read the data as valid for the asset on the prior year selected. Okay. Now you could also use the asset sub number function. Okay, so an asset sub number is a separate asset that is still connected to the main asset number. The main asset is autonomous given the sub number is 0. So each asset sub number will have the same asset number but a separate sub number. So you could define the sub number to give internally or externally. So usually external assignments is defined internally from the data migration. And when the migration is complete, it reverts to internal. So an example of a use for subnumber is to monitor subsequent improvement made to an asset. So in some cases, it might also be sent to reports on a separate component that comprise an asset by having each component defined as a subnumber. So the subnumber usually inherits data from the main asset and inherits fields are defined in the field status. All right, customizing. Okay, thanks guys. Probably want to look that over again. Okay, bye.